This is the weekend preview for Monster Energy AMA Supercross. This is it, the finale from Salt Lake City in Utah. Championships are going to be handed out one way or the other. The math seems pretty clear-cut in the 450 class. Cooper Webb, with a 9-point lead over Chase Sexton, needs to finish 5th place or better in the main event to win the title if Sexton were to win the race. Any further back, Sexton would win based on a tiebreaker since he does have more race victories than Webb. But Webb, on the other hand, has only finished outside of the top 5 in one race so far this year. That was all the way back at Anaheim too. So it seems pretty unlikely, but you never know what can happen in racing. Just flash back to last weekend when it appeared that Hayden Deegan's 250 West Division Championship would go down to the final round until 2 laps to go, and by now you all know what happened there. This leads to everyone wondering what could happen in 250 East, which has 3 riders very close in points, and this race is a showdown. The West riders will be out on the track as well. Tom Vialle leads the standings by 1 point over Seth Hammaker and 3 over RJ Hampshire. So basically, the title comes down to this. Vialle and Hammaker, whoever finishes ahead of the other, would pull ahead in points. Hampshire really needs to win the race. If he does, even if Vialle finishes second, Hampshire would win the title. If there's a scuffle and they all finish further back, Hampshire would need a couple of riders between himself, Vialle, and Hammaker to win the title. So for RJ, it's really a must-win scenario. For Vialle and Hammaker, it's a little more of whoever finishes ahead of whom wins the title. But with so many West riders out there and capable East riders, I'm thinking guys like Nate Thrasher, who usually do really well in these type of races, the chances that they're just going to run away out front and settle it between each other, probably not very likely. Expect some sort of drama this weekend for 250 East. Now, let's learn about the racetrack from Jason Thomas.
The last round of Monster Energy Supercross is here, and it is in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this track is still at elevation, not quite as high as we were in Denver last weekend, but it will have an effect on the motorcycles. They will be down on power a tiny bit, and the riders will notice that. So we'll see who can bring some horsepower. And I think for the riders on the East Coast, they will have to make that adjustment where the West Coast riders will run a similar setting to what they saw in Denver. So just watch for that in qualifying practice, maybe on press day riding if they're making some adjustments and trying to get fuel maps and gearing and all those things in place. Watch for the start. Do they go first gear, second gear? Last weekend, some of the riders, I think Pro Circuit riders were in second. A lot of the Monster Star Yamaha riders were in first. And that's just a gearing preference. How you set your bike up for the rest of the track often dictates which gear you need to use for the start as well. The track in particular, there are some big rhythm sections. That's going to be important for the gearing as well. Can the 250s get a lot of the triples out of the corner, which will then unlock big rhythms the rest of the way down? And this track is put together by several big rhythms, and who can put them together and who can't? Who can get the 3-3-3 in a few sections? Who can go 3-4? That will dictate a lot of the lap times. Watch for the whoops. There was a change early on in the track map. There were 5 jumps right before the whoop section, similar to what we saw in Tampa. They have adjusted that. They've really tried to keep speeds down on whoop entry, basically for safety reasons. So they have flipped that on the current map. Now it's whoops right out of a 180-degree bowl berm and into 5 jumps into the corner. So that's a significant change that will change how these riders attack the track. It certainly helps riders like Cooper Webb and Justin Cooper, which we've talked about, because they won't have to deal with all of that momentum going in. And I think it hurts a little bit riders like Malcolm Stewart, where he would want to use that same dynamic he was able to capitalize on in Tampa, carry that speed in, and make up time on the rest of the field. It gives him a passing opportunity as well. So it's the little nuanced stuff. The track builders are trying to do it for safety reasons, but I believe it does have an effect on who has an advantage this particular weekend in Salt Lake City. Enjoy it. It's the last one. Next up will be Pro Motocross opener from Fox Raceway.
Thank you, JT. And now on to this week's injury report from Leatt. In the 450 class, Jason Anderson is still out due to an undisclosed health concern. Justin Barsha hurt his knee in East Rutherford. He's out. Ken Roxon, he'd been riding injured for the whole second half of Supercross, and while he was practicing for Motocross last week before the Denver race, he further injured his ankle, and now that requires surgery. He is out for Salt Lake. Hunter Lawrence, Jet Lawrence, Jorge Prado, and Eli Tomac. Hopefully this is the last time I have to mention their names here, as they are all expected to return for Pro Motocross in just 2 weeks' time. And finally, Jerry Robin was paralyzed from the waist down in East Rutherford. He has a long recovery ahead of him, so please go to roadtorecovery.com to support Jerry. In 250 West, Anthony Burden is out with severe injuries as well, a dislocated hip, broken pelvis, and broken back. Ryder DeFrancesco has internal injuries. He's out. Derek Drake is recovering from Lyme disease. He hopes to return for Pro Motocross as well. Evan Ferry is out with an Achilles injury. Talon Hawkins out with a broken femur. Billy Laninovich had surgery on his wrist. He's out. Ty Masterpool is out with broken fingers. He's waiting for Pro Motocross to return. Jet Reynolds out with a broken leg. Style Robertson out with a wrist injury. And Josh Varese broke his back in Seattle. He is out for Salt Lake as well. In 250 East, Max Anstey is out with a broken leg. Daxton Bennick suffered a concussion and broken back in Philly. He is out. Pierce Brown fractured his T5 vertebra while leading Tampa. He is out. Casey Cochran out with a broken leg. Levi Kitchen broke his collarbone and his back in Daytona. He will be back for Pro Motocross. Derek Leatherman injured both wrists. He is out. Gage Linville is out with a concussion, rib, lung, shoulder, and back injuries. Lorenzo Lacurcio is out with a broken ankle. Cameron McAdoo out with an ACL injury. Carson Mumford out with an ankle injury. Nick Romano, knee injury. He is trying for a return for Pro Motocross. Chad Schultz also has a life-changing back injury. He lost sensory and motor control below T8. You can go to roadtorecovery.com to help out Chad as well. And finally, Jalik Swoll is out with an Achilles injury. That's it for the preview for the final round of Monster Energy AMA Supercross from Salt Lake City. We'll see you Saturday night.